Imagine waking up to the sound of birds chirping outside your window, the scent of freshly brewed chai in the air, and the vast African savanna stretching beyond your horizon. While I may not wake up to that view every morning, it is deeply embedded into who I am. My name is Jayna Chakua, and I'm proud to say that my roots trace back to Kenya, a country of breathtaking landscape, rich traditions, and a history that continues to shape who I am today. Both of my parents were born and raised in Kenya, and although I may not have grown up there, their experiences, culture, and values have been passed down to me in ways I never fully appreciated until now. Kenya is more than just a place on the map for me. It's part of my story, from the vibrant Swahili phrases woven into my daily conversations to the deep respect for family and community. My upbringing has been shaped by the values my parents carried down with them. I've always found it fascinating how deeply culture can shape a person, even though they're thousands of miles away from their ancestral home. My parents made sure that Kenya was not just a distant memory for me, but a part of my daily life. Whether it was through the food we ate, the stories we shared, or the traditions we upheld, Kenya is at the heart of my family. Growing up, I always knew I was different from some of my peers. While others celebrated traditional holidays with turkey dinners, my family gathered around a feast of Yama Choma and Ugali. And instead of hearing about Santa Claus, I grew up listening to folk tales about Anansi the spider, a mischief trickster who always found himself in humorous predicaments. These stories told by my parents were not just bedtime tales. They were lessons in wit, resilience, and wisdom. Music was another way I always felt connected to my Kenyan roots. While my friends listened to pop and hip hop artists, I was introduced to the rhythmic beats of Afro beats and the uplifting sounds of Afro pop artists like Sauti Soul. The music had a way of transporting me to a different world, one where celebrations were filled with dance, joy was expressed through movement, and where stories were told through song. It made me realize how powerful cultural expression is and how music, in particular, can serve as a bridge between generations and identities. One of the most profound ways my Kenyan heritage has influenced me is through the values of Harambe, which means pulling together in Swahili. The concept of unity and collective effort is deeply rooted in Kenyan culture. It emphasizes that success is not individual, but is communal. I saw it firsthand when I got to witness my family's Christmas tradition back home. My grandfather spends his Christmas holiday at his hotel giving out food to the impoverished kids in the area. I remember standing there watching the children's faces light up with joy as they received their warm meals. And it was at that moment I realized how much my roots had taught me about generosity, responsibility, and the power of standing together. It wasn't just about charity. It was about community and about looking out for one another and about recognizing that we all have a role to play in making the world a better place. This experience deeply impacted me, making me more aware of my privilege and responsibility that comes with it. It reminded me that even though I may live in a different part of the world, the values of kindness, gratitude, and togetherness remains universal. So what does this reveal about me that you may not have known before? It shows that my identity is more than just where I live or what language I speak. It is a fusion of cultures, traditions, and values that shape how I see the world. My Kenyan roots had given me a unique perspective, one that embraces both individuality and the power of community. I have learned that cultural identity is not just about geography. It is about the traditions we uphold, the values we carry, and the stories we pass down. And while I may not always be in Kenya physically, I always carry it with me wherever I go. Every time I speak a word of Swahili, every time I listen to a Kenyan song, and every time I remember the lessons my parents taught me, I am reminded that my heritage is a gift, one that connects me to something greater than myself. So, the next time you hear the word Kenya, I hope you don't think about just wildlife and safaris. I hope you think of a culture rich in unity, in storytelling, and in music, and in resilience. Because to me, Kenya is more than just a place on the map for me. It is who I am.